dim the lights and hit the club scene. They're stepping back into the spotlight. EDM sister duo Krewella is igniting fans with their new single, Crying on the Dance Floor. This electronic dance music track could signal the start of a powerful new era for the artist. Jahan and Yasmin Yusuf join us to share what's next for their music. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
All right. So born in Houston, grew up in Chicago. Both of those cities have a population that's kind of like a good mix of a gumbo, if you will. But you have that good mix of a gumbo right there in your own family. Share with people your ethnic background.
I would say it's maybe more of a masala for us.
There you go.
Yeah, we were born in the United States in Houston. Our mother is European. She was born in the States. She's German-Lithuanian, and our father was born in Lahore, Pakistan.
All right. So your dad went to UT, hook 'em horns. I did too.
Yes.
You now live in Los Angeles, which is another very varied community. But your music influences also reflect your parents' background. I love when you grew up, you're listening to their tapes and CDs, as most kids do, but you're listening to German music, Pakistani music, ABBA, and the Beatles.
We had a big blend. I would say that our parents' music collection had everything that you could possibly think of, even the stuff that you weren't expecting. It was a fun way to grow up, though, with so many different influences.
Yeah, but you gravitate toward the clubbing scene, and we call it EDM right now. I'm just going to tell you it's disco. Disco never went away. We just changed the name of it. But let's talk about what EDM means.
It stands for electronic dance music. And by the way, you sound like our mom. She always brings up disco.
Yes.
So
yes.
I love that you did that. It's very important to remember the roots.
Yeah. All right. So electronic dance music, and we see it. It's that thing that everybody has to get up and move to. All right. The creation of Krewella. You had a friend that was in high school in a band, and you started a music group with him. And music was a weekend hobby at some point. But as every professional artist eventually comes to realize, it's like, do you want this to be your career or not? It kind of becomes an all or nothing. Tell me about that decision to step off the curb and say, look, we got to put both feet in.
Yep. As you said, prior to June 8th, 2010, which was our dedication day, it was more so a hobby. We had side jobs at the time. I was in college. And I think we realized that our energy was leaking in so many different directions, and to really level up our skills as an artist, we had to commit. So we quit our jobs. I dropped out of college on June 8th, 2010. We got tattoos of this. Shortly after that, we actually had to get jobs again to pay rent. But I think it shows that the path isn't always clear and linear. So sometimes you think that, it's something's final, like I'm going to quit my job and I'll never have to return to that again. So it does show that the path is just so unexpected at times. And so after that, it kind of eliminated any other options that we had in our mind of backup plans.
Yeah. How did your parents feel about dropping out of school, getting tattoos, and we're going on the road to do music?
They were
concerned. Tattoos they still have issues with.
I think they were concerned, but I think it came from a place of them looking out for us, because I think the biggest concern, like for our father, was insurance. College was giving me access to health insurance, and I think for them it felt like it wasn't as clear as, when you go to college, it almost seems like you will have a career set up for you, which we obviously have seen with the more recent generations. That's not the case. It doesn't guarantee financial stability or a career or job. So I think that was a concern of them. They just wanted to know that their daughters were going to be able to take care of themselves, and we got really blessed that we have been able to.
Yeah. All right. What went behind naming the group Krewella?
That was just a name that popped in my head when we were writing back in the day, and we just went with it. Yeah, it was just a feeling.
And then the spelling of it with the K?
With a K, Krewella. And someone years ago told us it sounds like a female goddess.
Oh, there you go.
And I like that a lot. There's something kind of mysterious about it and feminine, but also intense
Yeah,
about
but
the name.
there's two of y'all. We're going to call it Krewella. So that's like two.
Krewella.
Yeah,
I love
Krewella.
that.
Yeah,
Now,
just,
now it sounds like an alien species.
yeah,
So I'm down with that.
we'll stay with Krewella. All right, your music breakthrough, 2012, your self-released debut EP, Play Hard. And I'm going to go with self-released. What's so cool about today is that it is so much easier, although it's still a lot of work, to self-release something. When back in the days, if you weren't hooked up with a music label or music company, it was hard to do anything.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy even thinking about that time because we barely knew what we were doing. I think I was 18 or 19 when we were making and releasing that music. And I think we had this extreme pursuit pushing us forward, but also this naivety, you don't know how something works yet. You don't know how tough something is going to be. So I really appreciate the amount of youth we had on our side at that point,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
realizing how hard it was going to be, but it really, really did. Like Jahan said, we were blessed to have it work out for us.
And
And it
sometimes with
is
that
beautiful that
naivete,
it's so
you
easy.
don't have the fear, as you pointed to. So you just do what you think
Totally.
is right and is right. And so you did that. Your platinum single, Alive. Then your label, you launched an independent label, Mixed Kid Records, which basically goes back to your background of being a mixture of things. And then you had that shift in sound in 2020, your album Zero. So dance pop, South Asian charge tracks, a collaboration with the Indian artist Nuclear. You were able to do something different, but we still kind of recognized who you were. The Body Never Lies in 2022, and the experience of half Pakistani women in a male-dominated industry has been really interesting for you as well. Jahan, I want to talk about your nonprofit in Pakistan, because when you have a voice, a bigger voice, then you can have a bigger impact.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something that we've been supporting with other family members on the Pakistani side of the family since the pandemic. And I think it was a result of having the spaciousness and time to reflect on feeling like we're creating impact and wanting to have a meaningful life, and pulling away the studio sessions and crazy touring really gave me the time to think about that. And something that I'm really grateful for, which has been a result of our prosperity as musicians, is having access to health services. Mm-hmm. And both of us have had our health struggles, and we can see specialists and we can get exams and lab work done, and it doesn't hit us like it would, as far as financially, like it would for other people. So both of us really feel like that everyone deserves that. So yeah, that's been our effort.
It's a universal issue, that access to healthcare, but you're right, in some places there's not even a clinic or a hospital to even go to. Exactly. All right, so your new single, Crying on the Dance Floor, what can we expect from that?
We just released it almost exactly a month ago now. It's super high energy, extremely emotional. It's very much at the core of who we are. It is both back to our roots and looking ahead at the same time, a mixture of the past and future, and we have a lot more like it in store.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. I have a feeling that if I met your mom, she and I'd be hanging out at the club. We'd be like, last dance for love. We'd be doing the disco thing, but we'll do the EDM thing to your music instead. But thank you so much for joining us today. We know you're heading out on tour. We hope one day you can come to Houston.
Absolutely. We'll be back there soon.
All right. You can keep tabs on Jahan and Yasmin and their music tour on Instagram at Krewella, spelled with a K.